All right, Coach. I always like to talk to new head coaches because things change, life changes. What have you seen so far that's been different being a head coach?
The big thing is just understanding that, hey, listen, there is a tomorrow, right? You have a list of things, and you go, hey, man, I got to get all these things done. But I think the big thing is just understanding that, like, hey, you are in charge, right? So when things are going great, right, let's evaluate those things. When you're struggling with things, let's evaluate those things and see how we can fix them. And dealing with your staff and your players, dealing with the whole program. It's been fun. I mean, it's kind of like when I first got out, obviously you're a little nervous, right? But as we've gotten into this thing, it's like, hey, it's really exciting. There's things that and you say, hey, these are things you got to get done. But then there's also things, man, you look at it and you go, hey, did I do this? Did I do that? And just the fact of knowing that, like, hey, you got to make sure you got footballs. You got to make sure you got things like that. But like that, it's just been exciting,
Learning to delegate to your staff, is that easy or hard for you?
Well, at first it was hard, right? Because I've always been the one to been like, hey, let's just get things done and this and that. But then when I got into this thing, I'm like, hey, there's a lot of stuff here, right?
Yeah.
So then, and just talking to some of my mentors and stuff like that, it's like, hey, delegate, right? Mm-hmm. Help your coaches grow, empower them. And so that's been one of the big things that I've worked on, is just trying to, empower my coaches and being like, hey, man, let's delegate this and that, and let's get things done as a staff and a team.
I haven't been able to watch you guys in person yet this preseason in 7-on-7, but I remember guys from last year, young guys that will be returning. Tell me about some of the skill players that you guys have that have really impressed you so far.
Jeremiah Smith is one of them. Jeremiah played in about 8 games last year, started in 8 games last year on both sides of football, and he's really been big. We didn't have him in the spring because he's a track guy, but, man, he's a difference maker. He's a leader. He comes every day ready to work. And, it's kind of crazy. You think about a sophomore, right, being your leader, but, he's the guy out there getting people lined up, pushing people to get better. And then we have Reed Reynolds. Reed Reynolds started last year on defense for us. He's probably going to be a 2-way starter this year, track guy, so we didn't have him in the spring. But those are really 2 guys we're going to lean heavy on. Another one is D.D. Rice. D.D. is a sophomore. He's had a really good spring, had a really good fall camp so far. So those are 3 guys that we're excited for. Benson Brang is another one. Obviously, he's got 2 brothers that played there, good DNA. But we're looking for him to really lead our offense and really lead our team.
To look at the quarterback position and kind of where do you stand with that, and what growth needs to be had between now and the start of the year?
I mean, I think a lot of it's experience.
Yeah.
Being a sophomore quarterback coming in and not having any varsity reps, that's tough. But again, I think going and playing good 7-on-7 competition, we went to the UT 7-on-7. We went out to the Carnes 7-on-7. Well, obviously we're doing the Knoxville Knoxville Classic this week, and we're playing really good competition. And I think that helps, and I think that, that's probably the biggest thing for him is just experience. I think you feel like he's got the tools. I feel like he's real savvy. So, again, I think it just goes down to experience.
Are there any guys that are going to open eyes, like maybe I don't know as a media guy that I'm going to learn about this far? You think just stand out possibilities?
I think Trayshawn Berry's one of them. He'll be a junior for us. He started some games last year at defensive tackle, and then in the offensive line. He's had a really good summer. I mean, he's a guy that comes in every day, goes to work. I think that's a guy that's really going to help us in the interior.